Oh, I'm flossing. Tell little bitch get up. Hit it once, had a feeling nauseous.
Welcome back, guys. JJ Buckets, you know where you are, and I'll ask you to excuse my voice a little bit because it's about 3:30 a.m. in Toronto right now as I'm recording this. So, bear with me a little bit, but I swear to God it's worth it because Kawhi Leonard is an LA Clipper. And not only is Kawhi Leonard an LA Clipper, Paul George is getting traded to the Clippers to pair up with Kawhi. That is insane. I feel like I just have so many, thoughts and emotions flowing through right now, but we'll start with the Clippers. So you have Kawhi Leonard, top 3 superstar, pairing up with Paul George, top 10 superstar. You have just 2 phenomenal players joining up on the same team, and you gotta think the Clippers are now, I'd say, reasonably head and shoulders the favorites to win the NBA championship for next season. On top of the fact that you have those 2 superstars there, you're also pairing them with probably one of the league's best benches, in 6 men and like Lou Will. You also have, Montrezl Harrell, who's a fantastic center off the bench, and other pieces. And the Clippers, who were seemingly dead in the Kawhi race, everybody was talking about it's how it was between the Lakers and the Raptors, and we go back to the Clippers. And it's funny because I just dropped that whole power rankings video on where Kawhi is likely to end up and kind of the best situations for him. And I had the Clippers as 3rd because I didn't figure that there was still a realistic possibility to get a good running mate on the Clippers for Kawhi. And they get Paul George. Not only do they get a good running mate, they get a top 10 player to pair with a top 3 player. So, good on Jerry West, good on the Clippers organization for putting that together and pulling that seemingly out of nowhere, because I don't think anybody really saw this coming. And if you did, and if you say that you saw it coming, if you say that you saw Paul George getting traded from OKC to the Clippers to join Kawhi when he signed there, I'm going to call you a liar, because that is bull. It just fully, this is out of nowhere. And the Clippers are definitely, I would say, the odds-on NBA favorites right now. I would bank on, the Clippers and maybe the Bucks as the early favorites for the NBA Finals next year. But, let's not completely dismiss the fact that the Lakers are still in it. They do still have some cap space. They had a max slot waiting for Kawhi. Now it's not for Kawhi. They actually immediately went out there, and there's news that KCP both is going back to the Lakers, and Danny Green is actually going to join the Lakers as well. They still need somebody at that point guard position at the starting spot, but the Lakers are definitely going to make their efforts to put together the best contending roster that they can right now, but it's going to be hard to see how they're going to put together a better team than what the Clippers have right now. And speaking of the Clippers and the whole Paul George trade, wow, let's talk about that for a second. So again, I don't know where this came from, and I'm surprised the Thunder budged so quickly and so easily for PG, but they're going to get a decent haul, or I guess as good of a haul as they could get in this situation. Apparently, they're going to get a record number of draft picks in this deal. So it'll be interesting if that comes back to bite the Clippers in the butt, I guess. But I sincerely doubt it will, considering that, they've put themselves in a position to be contending probably for the next 5 years, at least. So those picks may turn out to be nothing more than like late round picks every single time that the Thunder get them. And on top of that, they send Danilo Gallinari over to the Thunder, as well as Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And Gilgeous-Alexander is actually a great get for the Thunder. I think he had a very good rookie season, in my opinion, that kind of flew under the radar, but he was definitely a quality player for the for the Clippers, and it'll be interesting to see if he's going to end up playing that 2-guard position beside Russell Westbrook, or if he's going to come off the bench for the Thunder. But I think if it were me at least, I would try him at that 2-guard spot beside Russ and see how that works out. It'll be interesting to see if maybe OKC tries to pack it in. I don't think they would. I think they would end up, just running that team and seeing what they get out of it. But you can't imagine OKC is anything more than like a lower playoff team. They're still a playoff team, even without Paul George, in my opinion. But I can't imagine it would be a really high seed. And it's actually a huge turn on the tables, I think, for OKC, who were kind of primed to maybe retool around Paul George and Russell Westbrook and put a contending roster out there. Instead, they end up with a situation that they just weren't really expecting, I suppose, and just a situation where, they go from hopefully a prime contender, if they manage to retool, to bottom tier playoff team, possibly out of the playoffs. I wouldn't quite go that far, but you never know. Now, let's get to the implications for Canadian fans and Raptors fans everywhere, because Kawhi's gone, and it's a mixed bag of emotions about that right now, because obviously, you're sad Kawhi left. I think as most Raptors fans were cautiously optimistic that he was going to come back. They thought enough had transpired to sway him on staying in Toronto. But, for Kawhi, the heart wants what the heart wants, and he wanted to be in LA. And ultimately that came first in his decision. And it's bittersweet because, you want to be sad, you want to be angry, but at the same time, you're still happy that, the Raptors won a championship, obviously, first championship in franchise history. So you're kind of happy for that, and you're happy that Kawhi was here for that, and you're happy in the huge, role that he played in that. And I don't think any Raptors fan is really going to be pissed off at Kawhi, although I'm sure somebody's going to be stupid enough out there to, post a video burning their Kawhi jersey, which they absolutely shouldn't. They should put that thing in a plaque. Well, maybe not put it in a plaque, but it should hold some respect, because Kawhi Leonard did a lot for this team for sure, and he did a lot for this city, and everybody loved him here. Everybody, I think, should continue to love him here, but at the same time, it does hurt. It most definitely does hurt for Raptors fans, especially considering that, some of the reasons I cited about why I thought he was going to stay, there was a great front office, there was a great chance to retool around him and Siakam, which I thought would have been great. But hey, now I was joking around earlier that now we get to hope for Giannis in 2021, and sound like Knicks fans, but I'm totally kidding about that. I don't think Giannis would realistically be a Raptor in 2021, even if he decided to leave Milwaukee. But it's interesting to see where Toronto goes from here, because with the current roster that they have left, you got to think the starting lineup projects to be something like Kyle Lowry, Norman Powell, OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam, and Marc Gasol, which I think is still good enough to be a lower seed in the Eastern Conference playoffs for sure. I don't think that team is bad enough to completely drop out of the playoffs by any means. But you gotta wonder, if you're Toronto, if it's not better to just, trade some of those players and kind of go for a higher draft pick, because you don't really want to be stuck in that kind of lower playoff seed purgatory type of thing where, you're not quite getting a good enough pick to get a true superstar player that's going to change the franchise around. And you have a weird blend right now of aging stars like Kyle Lowry, like Marc Gasol, Serge Ibaka is there as well. And like these, don't get me wrong, these are all expiring contracts and are going to be off the books soon anyway. So you'll have the cap flexibility and you'll have a chance to retool this roster either way. But it may be worthwhile exploring a trade for some of those guys aforementioned and seeing what kind of value you could get out of that. See if you can get any additional first round picks or any good young players from a contending team. It's going to be really interesting to see where the Raptors go from here for sure, because it leaves them in a bind a little bit. Are they content with being a lower seed in the playoffs and being stuck in that kind of situation again, or do they want to blow it up entirely and just rebuild? Nonetheless, those are more or less my thoughts here. Clippers, definite NBA title favorite after what happened tonight. Raptors questioning a rebuild perhaps. OKC maybe in the same boat. Lakers and Lakers fans probably punching the air that they didn't get Kawhi Leonard. Oh, it's like I'm kidding, but I'm really not. Lord knows. Those Lakers fans are, they're a different breed. Yeah. Comment below, let me know what you think of what happened in the NBA tonight, because it is surreal and crazy. And yeah, it's been JJ Buckets, standard stuff. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Other than that, guys, I'm out.